Hello, I'm Laura McHarrie at The Hidden Edge with another tea break tip on how to use business models and tools to help you manage your growing business. Today we're looking at Senge's learning organisation and investors in people. Like any ideal, the perfect learning organisation is not an attainable goal, but rather a desirable and useful set of ideas and principles for people and organisations to aspire. There's more to being a learning organisation than just a mass of knowledge. Every organisation creates and uses knowledge. The challenge is that few seem to actually learn how to manage it, apply it, and grow through it and use it effectively. And this is where Senge's 5 learning disciplines comes into play. So let's have a look at those. The idea of the learning organisation developed from a body of work called systems thinking. Learning organisations use information systems that measure the performance of the organisation as a whole and of its various components. The idea behind this is that systems thinking, all the characteristics must be apparent at once in an organisation for it to be a learning organisation. If some of the characteristics are missing, then the organisation falls short of its goal. However, many believe that the learning organisation is a goal that is unobtainable because we are always learning. Leaders learn to use systems thinking maps and archetypes to map and analyse situation, events, problems, and possible causes or courses of action to find better and often not obvious change options and solutions. Shared vision. The key vision question is, what do we want to create together? Taking time early in a change process to have the conversation needed to shape a truly shared vision is crucial to build common understanding and commitments, unleash people's aspirations and hopes, and unearth reservations and resistance. Leaders learn to use tools such as positive visioning, concept shifting, and values alignment to create a shared vision, forge common meaning focus, and mutually agree what the learning targets, improvement strategies, and challenge goals should be to get there. Mental models. One key to change success is in surfacing deep-seated mental models, beliefs, values, mindsets and assumptions that determine the way people think and act. Getting in touch with the thinking going on around changing your workplace, challenging or clarifying assumptions, and encouraging people to reframe is essential. Leaders learn to use tools like ladder of inference and reflective inquiry to practice making their mental models clearer for each other and challenging each other's assumptions in order to build shared understanding. Personal mastery. This is central to do with self-awareness. How much do we know about ourselves and our impact our behaviour has on others? Personal mastery is the human face of change, to manage the change relationship sensitively, to be willing to have our own beliefs and values challenged, and to ensure our change interactions and behaviours are authentic, congruent and disciplined. Leaders learn to use tools like perceptual positions and reframing to enhance the quality of interaction and relationship in and outside of their teams. And then there's team learning. This happens when teams start thinking together, sharing their experiences, insights, knowledge and skills with each other about how to do things better. Teams develop reflection, inquiry, and discussion skills to conduct more skillful change conversations with each other, which form the basis of creating shared vision of change and deciding upon common commitments to action. It's also about teams developing the discipline to use the action learning cycle rigorously in change work. Leaders learn to use tools like action learning cycles and dialogue to develop critical reflection skills and conduct more robust, skillful discussions with their teams and each other. Sometimes it's difficult to work out where to start working on the 5 disciplines. Some say that they just want to do systems thinking or work on a shared vision and leave personal mastery or team learning out of the picture. The trouble is they can't, because as you may have realised, all the disciplines are interlinked with one another. So this is where possibly linking to investors in people can help us. This is the new 2017 model for investors in people. The standard explores practices and outcomes within an organisation under 3 performance headings: leading, supporting and improving. Leading. Creating purpose in a fast-changing environment whilst motivating through change has become essential skills for many roles. Outperforming organisations, fostering leadership skills at every level of the organisation to deliver outstanding results. And this is broken into 3 areas: leading and inspiring people. Leaders make the organisation's objectives clear. They inspire and motivate people to deliver against these objectives and are trusted by people in the organisation. Living the organisation's values. People and leaders act in line with the organisation's values at all times. They have the courage and support to challenge inconsistent behaviours. Empowering and involving people. There is a culture of trust and ownership in the organisation where people feel empowered to make decisions and act upon them. Supporting. For many, constant change is now normal. Successful organisations are moving towards flatter structures to enable faster decision-making, customer focus and agility. Reduced overheads, better service for customers and more successful organisations are the benefit of this approach. Again, 3 areas. Managing performance. Objectives within the organisation are fully aligned. Performance is measured and feedback is used. Recognising and rewarding high performance. Recognition and reward is clear and appropriate, creating a culture of appreciation where people are motivated to perform at their best. And structuring work. The organisation is structured to deliver the organisation's ambitions. Roles are designated to deliver organisation objectives and create interesting work for people whilst encouraging collaborative ways of working. And finally, improving. The best organisations are always looking for opportunities to improve by seeking every marginal gain. They know that every small change adds together to enable them to consistently outperform. And again, breaking it down into 3 elements. Building capability. People's capability are actively managed and developed. This allows people to realise their full potential and ensures that the organisation has the right people at the right time for the right roles. Delivering continuous improvement. There is a focus on continuous improvement. People use internal and external sources to come up with new ideas and approaches, supported by a culture that encourages innovation. And creating sustainable success. The organisation has a focus on the future and is responsive to change. Leaders have clear understanding of the external environment and the impact that has on the organisation. So this model describes the practices and outcomes required for better performance and higher accreditation. If we look at it, we have the 9 key areas, which are broken down into 4 key recognitions. Developed, meaning the principles and practice are in place, communicated and understood. Everyone in the organisation knows what's expected of them. Established, meaning employees are actively engaged in ensuring that the principles and practices are applied consistently. These ways of thinking and behaviours become second nature within the organisation. Advanced, meaning that employees actively drive the positive outcomes. taking ownership of the principles and practices, and apply their own knowledge to solve new problems. And then finally, high performing, which means the principles and practices are fully integrated with wider activities. Employees take responsibility for delivering consistently positive results, always with an eye on future performance. You now have a framework within which you can use to measure your own business. So on the 4 different scales, developed, established, advanced or high performing, make some judgments about where your business fits in the investors in people model. Using this can then help you use the Senge's learning organisation to further develop your business. So there you have Senge's 5 disciplines in the learning organisation and a quick overview of the investors in people model, the new model for 2017. Do go to the Hidden Edge website to download the templates there. And whilst you're there, do share your stories of what's worked well for you in the past using Senge's model and the investors in people model in the past. It's one of my favourites. I do like the investors in people model. And so that's it from me. Until next tea break time, enjoy the rest of this one.